The problem with Clause 1 of the Anti-Social Behaviour Bill is that it's drafted in much too broad a way so that it could catch almost anything. It outlaws nuisance or annoyance. Well, you only have to say that to know that we're all capable of being annoying, and we all experience annoyance many times a day in many different ways. So the idea that you have a law which turns on the definition of what's annoying is of concern to very many people. And so what we need to do is we need to raise the threshold of that law to make sure that, yes, there are powers to deal with antisocial behaviour, but that the law doesn't go too far and invade on people's civil liberties, their ability to preach in the streets or protest or engage in ordinary behaviour. We do not want to see people being hauled before the courts just because somebody else thinks they're annoying. Of course, it's been very gratifying in this campaign to be able to work together with a wide cross-section of people with whom we would normally disagree about almost everything. But we find ourselves working in this campaign with the National Secular Society, with the Peter Tatchell Foundation, the Freedom Association and others. And that shows the breadth of the concern. It's not just a concern for the freedom of speech of Christians, it's a concern for the freedom of speech of everybody. It's about our freedom to disagree with one another, to have a reasonable and robust debate in the public square without somebody somewhere trying to invoke this very broad law to shut things down. And when we've been speaking to people in the House of Lords, what we've found is that lawyers there, many of them immediately see this issue, and you have some very senior lawyers in the House of Lords who are lining up to oppose the government proposals and to support the amendment that Lord Deer is putting forward. When we went to see the Home Office Minister Norman Baker, he listened very carefully to our concerns, and we were a little concerned that perhaps there's not quite as full an understanding as you might hope for on the part of the Home Office about what these laws could mean and about the particular forms of words that they're using. So we are pressing the Home Office to rethink, to consider a different form of wording which would not have the same risks for civil liberty that this nuisance and annoyance test would have. There will be a vote on the 8th of January. Peers will have the opportunity to make their case, to speak against these proposals. Lord Deer has tabled a specific amendment to change the threshold, to replace this nuisance and annoyance threshold with a higher test. And that amendment will be voted on the 8th of January, and peers will have that opportunity to inflict a defeat on the government if they wish, and we'll have to see what happens. If they do vote against the government's proposals, if they do vote for Lord Deer's amendment, then the government will have to think again about it. The whole issue will have to go back to the House of Commons, and anything could happen.